My long-term boyfriend wants to work with his ex. I want to end things.
Work how?
Yeah,
Work
what type
out?
of work are they doing? And why would you even want to work this out? This is driving me a little insane. My boyfriend, let's call him Isaac, has his own podcast. It's finally starting to blow up a little. Due to privacy and me quite literally being on a few of the episodes, I'm not naming the talk show / podcast. He also has a YouTube that's recently gained quite a following. He's nowhere near famous, but he's finally starting to be recognized. I used to be the main co-host, but I've been too busy with work lately to be overly active on the show.
No!
She's stepping out.
No! Tell us! You can't do this!
No.
The amount of YouTuber beef that's happening right now, I need to know!
Maybe we
Yeah.
can figure it out. Maybe we can
Okay,
figure
yeah,
it out.
I think we can,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think we can sleuth it.
Holy cow.
Okay,
Sorry. I just need to know. I gotta know this.
That's so good.
By the way, this comes from Level Solution 6648 on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. So obviously you can't have a podcast with one person. I mean, you could
You could.
if you had a Reddit podcast.
That's right.
That's kind of boring. So Isaac told me he found someone to have as a more constant co-host when I'm not available. I told him that was great and asked him who it was. He told me her name was Abigail and sent me her Instagram. It didn't seem like he was hiding anything, so everything felt fine. But after a week later, we were having dinner with our friend group when Isaac's best friend, Josh, told me in front of everyone that he was surprised about how cool I was with Isaac working with his ex-fling. Josh,
Ooh.
you messy boy.
Josh.
Josh. Let's say my reaction was the complete opposite of cool. Hot. I was more upset that Isaac lied to me than anything. Why would he feel the need to lie about something like that? I like to consider myself pretty laid back about these kinds of things. Would I have felt awkward? Yes. But the show is recorded in the apartment that me and Isaac share, and I seriously don't see him cheating on me. We're really serious and have been talking about marriage lately.
Uh-oh.
But the fact that he lied, it's the only red flag he's really shown me, but I just feel really weird about it. When we got home, I made him talk to me about it. About a year before he met me, he met Abigail and had a friends with benefits relationship with her. Apparently, he ended things with her because he wanted something more serious, something with labels, and she didn't. Once again, not that disturbing or weird, but he still lied to me. And the way that his best friend said it was almost in awe. Like the idea was unbelievable, making me think there's more to the story. I told Isaac I don't feel comfortable with him and Abigail because if he felt the need to lie to me about working with an ex-fling, it's probably not the best idea. He said he really needed someone who could be a constant co-host on the show if I couldn't, and I said he would just have to find someone else because I was not comfortable with this. I told him maybe I would have been if he didn't lie, but he lost that chance. I kept going far enough to say if he had kept talking to her, I might have to reconsider our relationship. He eventually agreed, but he's been giving me the silent treatment for the last couple days. Our friend group knows what happened due to the mid-dinner announcement. It's split 50-50. Some of my friends think I should cut him some slack, and he didn't mean to lie. He didn't mean to lie. He just didn't tell you.
I'm sorry, you think
It was just a little accident.
Think I wanted to do this?
You forced my hand. They're saying Isaac is a good guy who just didn't want to hurt my feelings, but I have a really bad feeling about this. Now I'm worried I really did overreact. Other things like this have happened before, now that I really think about it. But so many of our friends are saying I'm overreacting over a small mistake, and I think they might be right. Now that I think about it, small things like this have happened in the past. But the thing is, I love Isaac. I'm willing to keep trying for him. I just can't get the sick feeling out of my stomach. The friends on my side think I should continue to talk to him about this, but I don't even know what to say at this point. I really need some advice. And there is an edit, and I think an update. But what do we think?
I think two things. One, if he really, kind of to what you're saying, if it really wasn't that big of a deal, I feel like he would have been upfront about saying that. And then also, I don't know where you live, but let's just assume you live in America. There's 335 999 people.
Yeah.
million people that are
Could do a
potential
podcast.
candidates, you know?
Yeah.
Is this
Why
one?
do you need to do it with your ex friends with benefits?
Yeah. 1 out of 336 million, you have to choose that person.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let me ask you this, John. Let me
to
riddle me this.
I will riddle.
If you, let's say, you find Sam.
Mm-hmm.
You've been working with him for a bit.
Of course.
And then your girlfriend says, John, you can't work with Sam. It's over.
You know what
But he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything. You guys had an ex-fling.
Well, here's the crazy thing. We are now work husbands.
Yeah.
And we do have children.
Yeah.
Some bonds are so strong, you have to keep all of them.
Yeah.
I have
So
so
what's
much
your answer?
I have so much love to give that I couldn't imagine not loving any of these people you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying.
So he's staying. He's staying.
I can't.
Because sometimes in that 365,000 million
999,000.
365 days of the year, million people.
Yes.
There's just one.
There's just that one.
Okay, storytime host.
You know what I mean?
Edit. For all of the people going straight to breakup, I do want to make it known that I really love this man. We've been dating for 4 years. We have a child. I'm kidding.
Oh!
I'm kidding. She's a cat.
Fur baby.
Oh.
I understand that ending things might be the only option, but right now I want to focus more on advice than hearing how I should end things. Isaac has been with me during one of the hardest periods of my life, losing my sister. He is strong and kind and in the nicest possible way an airhead. That was the nicest possible way an airhead. Breaking up becomes necessary. We'll switch gears, but all I need right now is some brutal honesty and advice on what I should say to him. And edit 2, he does have another job due to the fact that we can't survive off my money and the podcast alone. He works today and I work tonight. I'll only have an hour to talk to him, and I want that to be a lengthy conversation, so I'm going to wait until I'm off on Friday. I don't know exactly what to say, but I'll figure it out. Thank you for all the responses, and I'll make sure to update. There is an update.
It seems like he's being reluctant to let go of the co-host.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it seems like.
She's saying that because he wasn't upfront with it, she would prefer them to split apart.
Yes, I think right now in the edits, what we've learned is that she's like, I don't know if I'm ready to break up because
right.
we have
Over
our lives
that.
are kind of, intertwined. But she's considering it. That's, I think, where we've left off.
Maybe you go and you're like, I'm not even trying to say this in a threatening way, but like, I very much don't want this to like snowball into something that would end our relationship. Like, do you have any wiggle room with this? Because like, as a full-time podcaster,
it's true.
What I would do is just do the solo episodes, or hey, she's just not available consistently. Just do some solo episodes and episodes with your girlfriend until you find a replacement. And another detail, he works full-time. So this isn't jeopardizing his full. It's not like, if he misses an episode, I make like 25% less this month or whatever.
I guess he just has to choose.
Depending on.
Yeah, he just has to choose which is a priority to him.
Yeah,
because if it's
some
the
guests circulating. Yeah. What is your priority? Look, if you're like, hey, this is make or break, and it's my livelihood and my dream, and this is the only vision I could possibly have for this. Okay.
Then that's your choice to make. It could have been fine.
Yeah.
If you had not lied, but since you've lied, that kind of changes the.
Do you think she should say to him, like, basically, I'm considering breaking up over this? Like, should she communicate that? Do you think?
I think that leans into ultimatum, but I think communication is needed.
Yeah.
I think just saying, hey, you really kind of broke my trust here. I'm going to need you to put in a lot of work if we're going to continue this relationship. I
like that much better because it's kind of hard to mention breaking up without it feeling like an ultimatum or not coercing, but maybe coercing. Like it feels too strong and heavy when that is true. Like literally it's like, hey, the trust is broken.
Yeah.
And I think that's much better than what I said.
But there is an update.
Uh-oh.
I was diagnosed with severe anxiety when I was 10 years old. I spent all morning pacing and had a minor anxiety attack before talking to him. Normally, things like this make me burst into tears, no matter how major or minor, but I'm proud to say I held my ground. He brought me coffee this morning, something he almost always does. He's been talking to me more now, but there's still this kind of weird distance between us. He brought me coffee, kissed my forehead, and we ate breakfast together. He told me about work, and everything felt so perfect, but I knew deep down it wasn't. That this nagging feeling would never go away if I didn't talk about Abigail. So in the most uncouth way possible, I blurted out, "We need to talk." Isaac tensed and finally nodded, surprising me by saying, "We do." 1 point to anxiety.
Uh-oh.
We talked for around 2 hours. I'm going to summarize our conversation. The first thing I asked was how long they've been in contact. He told me that the way that they met was from being in the same psychology class in college and being in a study group. This added up. I know that he's still close with that old study group. Some of the guys in that group are his best friends, Josh being one of them. He told me they've stayed in contact through that group chat, but haven't talked one-on-one until recently. The second thing I asked was why the hell didn't he tell me? I teared up a little asking him, and he immediately started profusely apologizing. I told him that it hurt to hear it from Josh and not him. He said, and I quote, "I didn't think it was a big deal. I know it's stupid, but I just didn't think about it." He told me that they aren't the best of friends, and she just seemed like a good replacement for me until I could be more active again.
Ouch. That's a terrible sentence.
That's ooh. He's like, "Oh, my ex can replace you just until you come back."
Yeah. It's okay.
So you're more active again.
As in, like, more active as a podcast host.
Yeah, but
more
what else
active.
is she not active in, and he's also replacing her in?
Hopefully nothing.
Replacement.
I asked why he wanted her and why she was the first thought, and he explained how he wanted to do more topics revolving around college life / classes and study tactics, and she would be a good person to do that with since she was a part of his life during that stage. What is your podcast about?
Yeah, what is this podcast? Like,
what is your podcast about?
Oh my.
What about Ned's Declassified podcast?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Not actual study.
Sorry.
No.
Like gossip.
Yeah, that's just gossip about them being on set.
Yeah.
That's not study tactics. He told me that he loves me and he never meant to hurt me. He admitted that he knew it might make me uncomfortable, so he chose not to tell me because he knows how much I tend to spiral due to my anxiety. I got frustrated and told him that wasn't his choice to make. He agreed with me and told me he was sorry and he won't do it again. He added that Abigail will never have to come on the podcast and he never wants to purposely make me uncomfortable. I agreed, saying I didn't want her on the podcast.
Okay, so is he basically saying here, hey,
he's saying, I won't have her on.
Okay.
Maybe solution. Then the table turned a little. I thought this was going great. We were in agreement and everything seemed fine. I had a little bit of closure and he seemed content, but then he asked me something I couldn't have guessed. There's something else. She sent me nudes. When?
Uh-oh. When? That's the question.
What the F? I felt my heart break a little and asked how he responded. He showed me the messages. They were 2 effing days old.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
No.
Nope.
He responded with a single message. I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend.
Ooh.
Yet he didn't block her.
Ooh.
I demanded he cut contact with her, and he argued, saying it would make it awkward for his friend group. I argued that it was his effing girlfriend. Oh, that I was his effing girlfriend. And yeah, the situation was awkward. I asked him how he would react if Josh sent me nudes, and that got to him. He admitted that he'd cut him off and expect me to do the same. Double standards?
Got him.
You've got him. He nodded and agreed to block her. I watched him block and delete her account. I still didn't feel content. He saw those messages 2 days ago and didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad.
I feel like that is worse than the whole podcast.
Yes, way
ex-fling
worse.
situation. Yeah.
It keeps getting worse.
Right.
That was my breaking point. I basically said, maybe honesty isn't as important to you as it is to me, but if one of your friends sent me nudes, I would tell you within minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I would absolutely.
100%.
I kept going and started crying, and he did too. He kept apologizing and saying that he hadn't brought it up to me because he felt like I was avoiding him and he wanted to wait until he knew I was ready to talk, which felt like BS because he was giving me the silent treatment. I wasn't considering breaking up in my last post, but now, I don't know. I know this wasn't the update you guys wanted, and I promise there will be another one. I told him that I needed space, and I'm someone who's rare to set my boundaries until I'm really upset. He apologized and tried to hold me, but I stepped back. I'm writing this from my best friend's place. I'm over at her house right now, staying the night. I told Isaac we can talk again in a couple of days, but right now I need to think things through. The thing is, he cried when I started talking about ending things. Isaac doesn't cry. The only time I've ever seen him cry in our entire 4-year-long relationship was when his mom died. He loves me, I know he does, but I feel so lied to. Maybe I'm overreacting, but right now I just feel betrayed. And if anyone's curious, yes, I brought our cat with me. And there is an update.
Man, the saga continues.
Ooh, it really, I mean, I think he probably does love you to an extent. I don't think the crying is necessarily like a huge thing.
Yeah.
The problem is he lied to you and he doesn't respect your relationship enough to not lie to you.
Yeah, like if anything, like you think he already effed up by not saying it, but I felt like his responses at the beginning of their conversation was actually making progress. Like he's like, you know what?
Yeah, he was like, we need to do this.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. That was wrong of me. I'm not gonna have her on the podcast. Like it seemed like he was headed in the right direction.
And then he's like, and while we're on the subject, she sent me nudes.
And then completely switched up. Like it seemed like he responded completely differently to that than he did.
Well,
to
I think
because
he's being defensive.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, if she's mad about that, she's probably going to be mad about this.
Really
so I should probably
upset.
tell her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My whole thing is like, why didn't you tell her initially and honestly? I feel like, just blocking her or saying like, don't do this, don't send me this or something along those lines. More than I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend. Like that response was not great.
Weird response.
Bad response.
That's like a response that you give if someone is like, hey, you want to go on a date? And you're like, sorry, I'm flattered, but I have a girlfriend. Not when they send you nudes.
Yeah. Because nudes feels like such a boundary crossing.
I think in general, you have to be so sure that someone wants your nudes.
Yes.
Before you send them.
Yeah. But like asking someone out on a date, especially if you don't know if they're in that's like that. I'm flattered. I think works in that context because you're trying. You're trying to be nice. I don't know. It works.
Yeah.
It works a lot better in that scenario. Works terribly in this.
Indeed. But there is an update. Let's get into it.
All right, let's stop the episode real quick. I got something to say. People sometimes say things about me in the comments.
Yeah, like you're old,
below,
dying, decrepit.
Actually, in line with all of the things that you just said, somebody said John really needs ZocDoc now that his head has exploded with that cough. They're really calling me out for my my cough.
It does sound like an ancient cough. You know what it sounds like?
What?
It sounds like one of those mummies that, like, after 1,000 years finally gets up. And
you know what? Maybe I'm coughing, but at least I'm royalty.
That is true. That is true. You do look like royalty.
But, being mummy royalty aside, I do think it's something that I really should look at.
I think you should take care of it. And the only way to take care of it is with ZocDoc.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And y'all, all of these docs have verified reviews from actual, real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter the ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
Wow. The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is just between 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even in the same day.
Y'all, I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should use ZocDoc too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That is zocdoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the episode.
We broke up.
Oh, well,
Good.
All right.
Efficient. I ended up contacting Abigail. Some comments thought it might be smart, so I reached out to her over Instagram and asked for her side of the story.
Who?
She had no idea who I was at first.
Uh-oh.
Did she not know that he had a girlfriend? She then seemed very surprised I was contacting her. She realized who I was from the little Isaac told her, but according to her, he said we started dating last month.
Ooh.
Not 4 years ago.
Oh.
This information really confused me and I needed to know more. We met up for coffee and she filled me in that they have been hooking up every once in a while.
Dude.
Oh my God. In her words, maybe once or twice every 6 months.
Dude.
For years.
Dude. That is not what you said.
That's not, you lied.
Hey, babe, I just didn't want to tell you because I got anxiety. I don't want to upset you,
I
babe.
just didn't want to upset you.
I
So
didn't
I've just
like-
been like seeing her, but it's like, it's not a big deal.
Don't get stressed out. It's okay.
Don't be stressed out. We're a really good guy.
It's okay.
She started crying and hugged me while she apologized, saying she had no idea I had been his girlfriend for so long. So apparently their friends with benefits relationship never ended, and he had been cheating on me the entire time we had been together. Oh my God. She assured me they had been safe and I shouldn't have anything, but in all honesty, I kind of blanked out. I was with this man for 4 years.
Yeah, that is such a hard
Awful
blow to take.
I don't blame her in the slightest. I think she wants to keep in contact, but right now it's too painful to talk to her.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. It's purely Isaac's, but I just can't deal with anything that is remotely connected to him right now. I'm so confused on whether Josh knew this or not, but I feel like he wouldn't have said anything that night at dinner if he did. This is the friend. Yeah, that
Right.
was what I was wondering. Did the friends know? Because they
Yeah.
kind of brought it up.
And she was in the group.
Because he said it would be awkward for my friends if who else knew? Who else knew? I'm so sorry this update took so long. I broke up with Isaac over text, classy, I know, and told him my best friend would be stopping by to collect his things. I also brought our cat and said that I'd like to keep her. He protested on the breakup, saying we could get couples therapy. No, but I said there was nothing that could fix 4 years of lying. Right now, I'm living with my best friend, and we're having some serious girl time. I'm in shreds, but I know that this was for the best, and it would have hurt more to stay. And there is an update.
Wow.
One, I think, final update.
Dude, I'm trying really hard to find this podcast. I'm going
Riley
crazy.
is pressed right now trying to find this.
Podcasts where they talk about study techniques.
Yeah, I know.
And they
I know all the
recently
search
broke up.
terms: student, college podcast.
Broke up.
But I'm trying to find something
Cheating.
where they last uploaded like last month, like in August. You think?
This might not be the case,
What?
but I was like, is this marketing?
It's
Because
not marketing because there's no
Because
effing
there's no
way we can find
information.
it.
Can't find it.
It's horrible
okay.
marketing.
You're right. You're right.
Really bad marketing. If it
I
is.
thought maybe it was like super clever where it's like, all right, we'll make them so curious that they'll have to like search the depths of the internet to find it.
Yeah.
But
There's
That would
nothing
be
to
crazy
search.
marketing. Imagine if you told like, I don't know, you were on a podcast and you were like telling a story about working on a podcast, but you gave zero information and actively made it like harder to find it.
That's true.
And you're like, marketing. Crazy.
Give up. I give up.
Josh ended up calling me last night. At first, I didn't answer in fear it was really Isaac trying to contact me through him, but after the third call, I did. This guy sounded pissed.
Yes.
The first thing he said was, name. OP. I am so effing sorry. He didn't give me any room to speak before going on this tangent on what a crappy guy Isaac is and how he can't believe he was best friends with a guy like that for so long. He told me that he had made a spontaneous stop by at my old apartment, something that wasn't unusual for him, and was confused when he realized I wasn't living there anymore. Isaac admitted to cheating on me, something Josh didn't know but had suspected. You guys were right. He said that comment to warn me of saying, oh, I didn't know you'd be so chill with him, being with this new girl, this ex. which, I mean, I guess that's good. Some things I come to realize is Isaac was possessive. He wouldn't let me hang out with our male friends one-on-one. He was always lurking next to me. That just shows that you don't trust your friends or your girlfriend, which is embarrassing.
Terrible.
Yeah. Josh told me he alerted our entire friend group of what Isaac did, and while 2 or 3 of the guys took Isaac's side, what the F, the rest felt terrible for me. They cut contact with Isaac and those couple guys. Josh told me that if I needed anything, he would love for me to ask him, and he apologized again, saying he should have told me earlier when he thought he'd seen the signs, but he never would have assumed Isaac had been carrying this infidelity for so long. So yeah, I guess I'll do another update if anything big happens, but this is where I stand. And there are 3 relevant comments to finish the story off. Flynn Jim says, what makes Josh suspect the cheating? OP says, last year I was away for a week because me and some friends went camping. Apparently he did one of his stop-bys to see if Isaac wanted to hang out, and Isaac wouldn't come to the door. Josh thought he heard a female's voice and some noises. Isaac ended up telling him I had been on the phone with him, which is BS because I had no service for the entire camping trip. And OP, when told to hook up with Josh, I already said this to a reply up there, but Josh is the last person I want to see right now. And frankly, I don't want to date anyone. I just found out that the man I wanted to marry has been cheating on me for an entire relationship. I'm probably not going to go back into the dating pool for at least a year. And I'm someone who likes some heavy emotional connection before sleeping with someone. Josh is a great friend, but in all honesty, it was hard to just hear his voice over the phone, knowing that he was so heavily tied to Isaac. And that is the end of that story.
That's also giving like, oh, why don't you let's like giving the revenge, hookup, it's like,
we don't need that. Let OP, live healthily.
I was wondering if Josh was going to be like, so I would never treat you like that.
I would never treat you like that.
I was waiting for it, but hey, he didn't.
He didn't.
I would never treat you like that, and let me be the host on your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, let's start a competing podcast and outperform me.
And talk about study tactics.
Why would you ever write a story like this and not drop the freaking podcast?
Well, that's how you know it's real, because she really is angry at him and won't drop the podcast.
I don't want to give him any sponsoring.
Yeah.
Gosh.
No freaking free sponsors.
I just want to know. I want more YouTube drama.
Well, not today. Sorry, Riley.
Today.
Hey, this is a pretty crazy story. You know what else is crazy? You. That's right. You have crazy stories, specifically, possibly, of the inheritance variety. We are doing a brand new game show all around inheritance. 4 people thought they were going to get the bag, and 1 actually did. So if you have a story of coming very close to inheritance, but not actually getting it, or you did actually get the bag, you were able to successfully get the inheritance, we want to hear your stories. Click the link below, fill out your story, and we will get back to you and hopefully see you on the show. I just got engaged to my fiance. Now he's insisting that I convert to his religion, the old bait and switch. Thanks, Sophia. I'm female 35, and my fiance Todd, male 41, met over a decade ago and have a mutual friend group. We started dating last year and got engaged last month. Generally speaking, he treats me like a queen. He spoils me a lot, and I appreciate it always. He's usually respectful and kind, communicative, and patient with me. Things started to change, and I want to say it started to change once the ring was accepted. And this comes from Throwaway the Haters Okay on the Best of Redditor Updates. There we go. So I need to be clear. I don't much care to get married. I'm perfectly fine with not being married. My parents are not married, but they have been in love and together for 40 years. My siblings are all married, but 1 unmarried, but seemingly in happy relationships, each at least 5 years long.
Dang.
But Todd is a Christian and is of the mind that 2 people eventually need to get married to be happy. We talked about it at length both before we were a couple and after we started dating. I was clear that I don't want or need a ring, but if it's important to a partner I come to love, then whatever. I will do a small wedding. He was overjoyed when he proposed and I said yes in front of pretty much everyone in our little world, but later said that I didn't seem excited enough and it felt like I didn't want to marry him. I mean, she did
She did say
she's basically neutral.
Yeah, she's Switzerland.
Yeah,
in
that's
this.
true. She is
My
Switzerland
favorite joke
in this.
to make.
Day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2 of saying this joke.
That's my favorite joke. I've said
Day
it
2.
multiple times, actually.
I have said I love him, and if he wants a marriage, then sure. But to say I want to marry, I mean, I know he wants to, and if that's what he wants and says it doesn't matter to me either way, the math was easy.
Yeah.
Let's get married. I said it sort of jokingly to lighten the mood, but he didn't like that at all. And nearly every other day, he would find a way to ask me if I really wanted to marry him, or he would simply say that he feels like I don't. I suggested couples therapy as it seems to be really on his mind and troubling him. A good idea. And he said he's done therapy before and doesn't need to do it again.
My God, you do.
I've already got my driver's license, so I'm a certified therapized man.
Yeah. Now that I'm 80 years old, I don't need to re-up that driver's license.
I'm good to
No,
go.
I've already done it. Just because my eyes aren't the way they used to be doesn't mean I have to do it again.
I may have cataracts, but I like the way it looks.
Yeah,
Kind
look,
of cool.
It's still valid.
Then last week, on our usual date night, he said he had something really big to ask me. Call it a favor, if that makes it better. And he asked me to come to his church and get baptized. I stared at him. Riley's like, hold on, wait a minute. I am an atheist and have been since I was in my mid-20s. He has known that for years, and we've both been respectful of each other's beliefs.
I think that he might have been respectful, but now that marriage is a thing, he's like, oh, well, I want my partner. Well, I want my partner to get married to me, and 2, I want them to be in the same religion now that we're getting married. You know, like I think the marriage thing has kind of changed him a little bit.
It hasn't fully entered this yet, but it's entering the territory of like the super nice sweetheart until there's a ring, a marriage, and then it's like the switch up happens. Not saying that's happened yet, but we're trending in that scenario where it could get there. Baptism is supposed to be sacred and with a true heart for the faith, and I simply would be a liar if I said that I wanted to live for his God, because frankly I don't.
Yeah.
That is such a it's like, hey, like it shows to me that she actually respects
his religion. She's
the
like,
meaningfulness of that.
I don't want to just do it because you told me to. I want to do it because I actually believe in this religion and it's important to me.
Yeah, to me, it communicates her respect for that, which is cool. He argued that it's just a splash of water and some words.
No, but that's not true. And if you were true to your religion, you would know that. It's a huge deal.
Excuse me? And since he wants it to be before our wedding, and I, quote unquote, don't care about religion either way, this should be easy. He's flipping the marriage argument.
Which is totally different.
Come on, bro.
Totally different.
I refused again, explaining that I do care about my religion.
Yeah.
My majors were world religions and anthropology. I care a lot. And it would be dishonest to his God and our community for me to dedicate my life to his religion outwardly, but not inwardly. I said it felt disrespectful to his faith and the people who truly live it. He got angry with me. So you're okay with disrespecting me, though?
Oh, my God. You're annoying.
Like, where was this in the beginning of the relationship?
Yeah,
if you
why
feel
is
that way?
What's up with the switch up?
And when I asked what he meant, he said to just drop it and change the subject. I pressed more, but he raised his voice. I said, drop it.
Oh, wow. What a healthy way to communicate with your partner.
Loud enough for others.
She's not a freaking dog, man.
She's not a dog. Hey.
Drop it.
Fetch.
I said
baptize.
Drop it.
He's been robotic around me since. Days up in his study all night, sleeps on his study couch, goes to every service and event gathering at his church.
I'm going to be so religious.
I'm gonna be so. You'll see.
Double the amount of religion.
You'll see. I'll be so religious. I'm gonna become a pastor, and then I'm gonna become the Pope.
I'm gonna become a priest, and then I can't marry you.
Pope Francis, who? Me. Oh my God. Which is most weekday nights and Saturday morning as well as Sunday. Dude, bro is working for God at this point. And has been inviting me to every single one. He hadn't done that since we started dating. And he did it then, and I said I respect his beliefs and will go to something like a wedding or a christening or a baptism, but not a simple service or event. When he asked me just a few minutes ago tonight, I reminded him of the above, and he just dropped into our couch and sobbed.
Oh my God.
And when I went over to comfort him and talk to him, he pushed me away and left muttering something about running late for the service.
Wait. So he's like, please come to the service with me. And she's like, no, we already talked about this. And he's like,
No.
I have to go to the service.
Don't look at me. Babe,
Don't look at me.
I'm on my path to becoming the Pope. I can't miss this for you. You look what you made me do.
Oh, boy.
Sir. Well, his sister Esther,
Religious name?
Religious name, true. Shout out. Texted me to ask what happened, and I gave a brief summary, and she texted back that I'm being a jerk, and one service isn't going to make me burst into flames, and it's important to Todd. So, am I being a bonehead? Am I crazy to think that this pressure is a deal breaker? I do love him, but this version of him is not only a stranger to me, but a weight on me. But aren't people supposed to work through this hard crap to get on in a relationship?
No, this is not the time. If this is a deal breaker, it's not. A relationship is not about changing who your partner is fundamentally.
Yeah.
It is about finding
fundamental.
common ground.
Totally.
And when you do have issues, it's about trying to find compromise, but not about their intrinsic. If this is a thing that you can't get over, don't get into a relationship with them.
Yeah, this isn't like
you can't intrinsically change OP.
Hey, can we go to my favorite restaurant for date night tonight?
Or even hey, I need you to help clean up around the house.
Yeah. This is
religion is a fundamental part of people.
Could you change your entire life?
Yeah.
Could you just do that? Edit to the update. He texted me a few minutes ago saying when he gets home, he wants to have a serious talk. As serious as God. That was me.
As God is my witness.
Yeah. I explained that my best friend is over, so it will have to wait. And he replied, "No. Tell her to leave. Give her my love." But this is serious.
He's like, "No. Tell her to leave.
No.
Let her know that I love her family and I hope that she's doing well.
But
and I really miss her, but tell her to leave.
Get out of here.
You're such a baby, little baby. Why don't you freaking leave your service? Because it's important to you, and this is important to her.
If you love Jesus so much, why don't you marry him?" Oh, man. I talked to my bestie, Bessie, female 35, and read some of the comments here and told him no, indeed.
No, indeed.
He can come home. He can go home to his parents, and he is welcome to come in and pack a bag and leave because Bess is here for me right now, and I need her here for me right now. He hasn't responded. We have an edit coming up. Break up right now? Yes or no?
I think so. Break up.
I think
he's being really aggressive.
Yes.
And controlling. About something they've already had a conversation about, and he is changing up. All deriving from her accepting his marriage, but not, being as excited about marriage in general as him.
Yeah. It seems like he's taking this other thing.
Yeah.
To which is so funny because it's almost like if you obviously should never do this, but if you're going to pick a thing to go crazy about, at least make it the actual issue at hand and, something that she's at least on board with versus something that's I don't know. This whole thing is so, man. Logic is never present in these types of scenarios.
No.
Edit to respond to things that have come up a lot, either in messages or comments. He has never raised a hand to me. He would never. And if it's not for the reason I used to think that he's not a jerk, it would at least be because I am a military brat.
So if he's saying he would never.
He would never.
As soon as I'd beat him up.
Yeah, you think he could come for me?
You think you can play?
The Don
Dada? Ba.
Ba!
Cha cha cha.
Got him. So not only am I trained to defend myself well, but my parents would not take kindly, if you catch my drift. A lot of people have brought up kids. I can't get pregnant. I did want kids, and then this happened. So now I am okay with the idea of not having any. He said he is okay with that too, and we talked about just being dog rescue people. I have a sneaking suspicion this would be the next thing on his list.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he's not okay with this.
My father likes him. My father, a pastor, loves the guy, but no, I haven't told him about this yet. He is non-denominational and goes to a quote-unquote megachurch in our state, literally thousands of people. No, it is not a requirement for marriage at his church for me to convert. And the consensus on the story was that OP was not the a-hole, and the consensus in our poll right now is 100%
break up.
Break up. Leave the scenario. Okay?
Leave.
Now we have an update coming up, but yeah, we're all in agreement here. Literally 100% consensus to break up.
Agreed. What more is there to say?
What more is there to say from us? Yeah. But OP has some more to say.
OP's got a little bit more.
Got some stuff on her mind. So, update. Last week, I posted about a problem between myself, female 35, and my fiance, Todd, male 41. Because despite having been respectful of each other's beliefs until now, he is Christian and I am an atheist. He now wants me to get baptized. It came to a head and he stormed out, so I called my BFF to keep me company since I was pretty sad and emotional. I do a lot for him and Bess, the bestie, the BFF, and a lot of you here help me to see that the relationship as is either needs to have some serious changes to it or it needs to end. Logical. But logic is hard to cling to when you're heartbroken.
Ooh.
Ouchie. I think
Siri, play Logical by Olivia Rodrigo.
Ooh. Play Heartbroken by Logic. I think I already knew he wouldn't change anything for me. Oh, man, that's, yeah.
Yeah, no, he just expects you to change everything.
Yeah, but I feel like she's talking about, like, he said he would not press her, like, all this time, but, like, deep down, she knew. That's
She
tough.
knew it was just coming.
That's tough. Especially when he, like, did it for so long, and now is just
switching up.
When she's ready to
marry him,
kind of make it's not a full compromise, but kind of compromise to do the wedding, she's doing it for him to make him happy, I did text him that night that he needs to go back to his parents' house. The house we live in is mine. And that I needed space. Are we ready to get an eviction?
Ooh.
Yes, he and his sister gave his parents an alternate version of events because they came by that night anyways. All of them. His mom, dad, sister Esther, and him. He had a key, so he just walked in as Bess and I were drinking on the couch watching Netflix. Ooh, listen, you wine and Netflix time?
Don't interrupt.
Not a time to barge in, sir. I asked what he was doing here, and his family came into the room behind him. I asked, what's going on? The way he looked at me is unexplainable, but his mom pushed by him and just yanked me into a very aggressive hug.
His mom did?
Yeah, like some things like
she's like, don't leave.
Don't leave.
Please.
She said that they were here to talk as a family and have a family meeting.
Not about you, mama.
Last time I checked, mama, I wasn't getting married.
Yeah.
Ow! I smacked my hand on the... Why is there not a protective cover on this microphone? That was painful.
Why didn't you just push it?
Ah! Owie.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you need an ice pack?
No, I'm okay.
They're right there.
I'm good. I'm just being a baby. Like Todd!
Oh!
Got him! And then told Bess that she needed to leave.
Why does everyone keep trying to kick Bess out?
You leave. No, you leave.
It's your turn.
Oh my God. Bess refused.
Yes, stand on business, Bess.
His mom turns to me and asks me to have Bess leave. It's like, hey, leave. You won't?
No.
Hey, make her leave.
No.
Like, dude, what are we doing here? I refuse. It's late and I am not in a state to talk to anyone else. Please leave. Now you guys leave, okay?
Leave.
It devolves into passive-aggressive disapproval that I won't take guidance from the man I plan to marry.
Guidance?
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 Yeah, what?
I mean guidance.
What guidance here?
What does that mean?
What are we talking about here? His parents, his father is a pastor, sat down to give me what I felt was like a whole pre-planned spiel about how I am an adult and I need to act like one.
Oh, really?
And kicking a man out of his home for quote unquote doing the right thing is a tantrum.
Yeah, it's pretty subjective, this right thing.
Brother man.
Brother in Christ. What are you
Literally.
saying?
His dad once even said that he is so disappointed with me, and he will be telling my father, also a pastor, about this.
I'll tell my father about this.
Get out of my...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, yes, getting married or just being in a super long-term committed relationship, we are family, but this is not... But I ain't married to you.
I ain't married to you. In the eyes of the law.
That's right.
And in the eyes of God, you aren't my family.
Got him. Gotta be honest, I was dumbfounded for 85% of this. And then finally, I guess it was the boost, started to laugh, and then told him to get out.
Get
Jordan
your
Peele
booty
style.
out of here.
His dad refused and called me volatile and suggested I get counseling. Dude, I told him that this is my house and I will call the police to get them the F out.
Yes.
It was the first time I cussed in front of him. Pearls were clutched. Oh, the F word. I was called trashy, and Bess held her phone like, okay, I'm calling the cops. She asked you to leave. I heard his dad say, you're not marrying that.
Yeah. We can agree on that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually,
You're
finally,
right.
the first thing we've agreed on. As they left, and they muttered other hurtful things while making a whole thing of them being sad and disappointed by me. They left. Finally, someone leaves.
Please.
Todd packed a bag and left with them. He continued to text me invites to his services. It'll help you. It'll cleanse your soul.
Stop.
Stating that he's concerned
him.
about me and the path that I'm choosing. You're taking a walk with the devil, sweetheart.
You're taking a walk with the devil, and that's a long road.
Oh,
that
goodness
only
gracious.
leaves one place.
I don't want your
down.
sweet, petite little feet to have to go through that.
Burning
Carnage.
on coals.
He said that his parents aren't sure he should marry me, but he loves me and wants what's best for me. I told him I need space and to leave me alone, but he kept texting. I said that the wedding is off.
Finally.
And Sunday, when I got home from running errands, he was on the porch crying.
But OP's throwing a tantrum?
He had a handwritten letter that he wanted to read to me, but I said absolutely not and told him to go away. He kept asking me to think about what I'm doing and how my choices affect more than just myself and more. You know who else might ponder whose actions affect someone else and more, like, say, a best friend?
Yeah.
Is there anyone we can think of, Sophia? Like, anyone in the whole wide world? Todd!
Todd!
I pointed to the doorbell cam. Over there, buddy. And I said, I have footage of me repeatedly asking him to leave, and Bess was recording the night his parents and sister ganged up on me. Go away. Yeah,
Go
you kind of
away.
just got to realize when it is the time to...
Realize, real eyes.
Whoa. Got him.
Think about that.
He threw his hand up like he was going to strike me,
Whoa, not very man of God of you.
and I just screamed. I didn't even mean to. It was so sudden, and it just scared me. He went starting to apologize, but a neighbor came out to see what was happening, and he just left.
And you know what they say?
I texted him to never come back, ever. He is no longer welcome. I will mail his stuff to his parents, but he is no longer welcome on my property ever. And again, to clarify, this is seemingly legally her, this
Legally
is
her place.
her spot, He tried to apologize, but I no longer care to hear any of his words. He did leave his written letter, and I have just read it. So is Bess. She keeps telling me it's just manipulation, but it just breaks me.
Shout out Bess.
Shout out Bess. And you know what? In fairness, like, OP still seems, she's like, get out of my life, but she's still, sad
I mean,
that
it was
this,
a long relationship.
that
She
this
was about to
long
marry him.
relationship that she was literally like willing to marry him,
Yeah.
even though she didn't really care to, is over. I mean, that's heartbreaking.
It's a big deal.
The locks get changed tomorrow. Bess is helping me pack his crap. His father is picking up his stuff tonight, and I am just sitting here replaying the past week and a half in my head over and over. I know it's pathetic, but I'm shattered. It's not pathetic. That's not pathetic at all. I haven't been able to really sleep yet. I feel like I don't even reside in my own body anymore. Just going through the motions. Bess is staying with me. Also, shout out to Bess.
Literally.
Bess has been a absolute champion.
Champions.
I've been getting texts and social media comments about how disgusting I am. Like my notification just went insane over the weekend. This is just a nightmare, and I'm not even sure I want to wade through this.
That's horrible.
That is absolutely
really just block
terrible.
all of these people.
Seems like hubby revealed his true colors.
And they were ugly. They were ugly colors.
They were very, very ugly.
Yeah, your
very,
true
very
colors. How's that song go? Shine. And they're ugly.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes.
And that's how the song goes. But
That's
that is
right.
the end of that story.